Welcome to your free therapy stream, sponsored by Wilson Fisk and Vanessa Fisk. The therapy bill may be high, but it's not as high as what your casket will cost. I'm Justin.
I'm Derek.
Sorry, I called on you as you were swallowing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But welcome to Still Scrolling Special Viewers Unit, where our co-host and my co-host and I review what we're watching. And today we are taking a special look at Daredevil Born Again episodes 7 and 8. We've been covering Daredevil for the past 2-3 weeks now. And we are now at the penultimate point in the season, at least season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. And next week is the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. Jeez. Reminder, this podcast will contain spoilers for Daredevil Born Again, as well as the entire Netflix Marvel Universe, as well as the entire Marvel Universe up till now. So spoilers. You will be spoiled if you continue listening to this pod. So Derek, what did you think of when Muse got shot? Or better yet, what do you think of Daredevil so far?
Real quick, I just want to emphasize there will be spoilers.
Listen, I warned them, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, honestly, I really like what they've done with episodes 7 and 8.
Interesting. Okay.
I do think maybe Muse, there's a bit of a misdirect here. I think maybe he's coming back, or the persona, the mantle, is coming back.
Nah, he's deader than a door now.
Yeah.
Got shot.
Yeah. No. I think the iteration that we have seen so far, he's done for. I don't like how Heather has processed this.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think it's maybe on purpose. I think it's a little bit on purpose. The way that they are having her be like, I'm a therapist. It feels like every other line of dialogue with her, even when she's not in her therapist role, like her job,
right,
is very much like, I'm therapizing you, Matt. I'm having a conversation about something loosely related. Well, I'm a therapist. But it did feel a little bit rushed to me, the reveal that, he's like her patient, and it felt almost like an afterthought.
Interesting. I mean, this is episode 7 and 8. We're almost done with the entire season, so it's interesting that you say that it feels rushed, because I'm wondering.
Sorry.
Oh,
the fact that he's her client, that he's her patient, all of that felt very much like they got to connect some dots here.
But we were watching Wilson. Oh, you're talking about Muse being the patient.
Muse,
gotcha,
not Wilson.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you rather her say? Something like, I don't know.
Piss on stream.
Would you rather her say? Did you hear that?
Piss on stream.
Whoa, what was that? What was that noise? Where did that come from?
You didn't hear that? Hold on, let me
Piss on stream.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Stefania. If you're editing this, I'm so sorry. It was just so funny to me.
She's not going to see it. She's not going to see it. Yeah, because she just looks at the markers.
Piss
so
on
she doesn't
stream.
spoil herself.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to make it a part of the soundboard because it's so funny. Anyways, I need to get that out of there.
Focus.
I am digging Daredevil Born Again, but also I have a lot of questions per se. I have a lot of worries about this show, to be honest with you.
I think I also have the worries. I wouldn't phrase it. I wouldn't phrase it that way, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I agree with you I think it's very clear that this used to be 20 episodes.
Yeah, here's the thing. There are glimmers of brilliance in this show, like point blank period, where I'm like, damn, they are cooking with gas. And then there's moments where I'm like, where was the? I'm having trouble placing what the purpose of certain things are. You know what I'm saying? I'm having trouble placing where, like, how do I say this? Like, I'm having trouble placing what they want to say with a person like Matthew Murdock, because at the end of episode 8, he has become something I do not recognize.
Well, hold on, because that's on purpose.
Is it though? I mean, I get it. Like the meta, like he's so far from himself because of the death of Foggy. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know this guy anymore.
Yeah,
like he's making truly weird decisions that
he's
I don't
crashing
think,
out.
Is it? It's not crash. I wouldn't even say it's crashing out. It's like, okay. If we're getting into, I don't want to like tell this out of order, but like everything from like the way he handled White Tiger, from the way he's treating his girlfriend, the way he's very cavalier in the way that he is becoming Daredevil again, in a way that like cavalier without regard. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. It doesn't feel like he's very heroic anymore.
Absolutely.
And,
you hit the nail on the head, because
right, like,
it's him seeking the retribution. So, what is it? Purely for the sake of retribution.
Right.
And it's cavalier, and he's being so cavalier with it that there's no regard for like other people in his life, like his girlfriend.
None.
There's no regard for like actual justice, which he quote unquote he says he likes. right? He trusts in the legal system. He trusts in all of this, but and again, you mentioned, right? This is kind of like out of order here, but by the end of episode 8, he's so desperate to just stick it to Fisk that everything blew up, and it's all a product of his behavior. It's all a product of his, crash out or whatever we want to call it. And then it's ignoring certain things like episode 7's events where Heather almost dies. But again, he's ignoring it. So he also can't be pissed at the fact that she says shit like, I saved myself. Like rightfully so, I'd be mad. I'd be so mad if I was Matt Murdock and she's like, I saved myself. Daredevil didn't save me. Like, girl, no, Daredevil saved you. You killed the guy. You helped Daredevil save you is what happened.
I'm worried that Heather is not long for this world, especially how episode 8 landed. Because I'm like, damn, after these episodes, I'm like, I really like Heather. I think she's a baddie. I love her so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be really, really sad when Bullseye inevitably kills her or something. But
something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I think she's
bad's gonna happen.
Best case scenario, she's a loose end, and Fisk can't have that. So,
you're right. Right. Yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into dissecting each episode. We're gonna start with season 1, episode 7 of Daredevil: Born Again. Art for art's sakes. And this takes place right after that previous episode where White Tiger's niece is now awake in a hospital, and Daredevil has carefully made sure that she's gotten to the hospital. But at the same time, he's real beat up. He's taking a shower. He's getting all the blood off him. And then we get one of the steamiest scenes on Disney Plus. Heather comes in like, hey, room for one more? And they start smooching in the shower. very steamy, very classic Daredevil. But after that, they get into a little bit of a spat because Heather notices that Matt has a lot of bruises on him and he's not where he says he is. What did you think of this conversation, Derek?
This is one of those parts where I think when you say you're concerned and I say I feel like you could tell it was 20 episodes, I think this was one of that scene where they're fighting over like, where were you and all that kind of stuff. It feels very like an afterthought. Like, oh shit, yeah, he has been dating somebody and she has been staying over. How is he going to explain the fact that he was missing? And he's like, oh, I went for a walk. Oh, I
sure,
mean,
Matt. Really?
Yeah. She's like, bullshit, bro. Like, she straight up tells him, like, bullshit. I'm a therapist. You're struggling here. And I feel like he got away with it this time. He got away with, like, the gaslighting.
I don't think he did. Like, there's okay.
Well, got away with it. He, you know, she gave him a pass this time, but she's definitely onto his shit. You know?
Is Matt weaponizing his blindness against Heather? Because he like she calls him out like, you have all these bruises, and he's like, I'm blind. I bump into things. I was like, Matthew Murdoch, you know damn well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. What's his middle name? He has a middle name, right? It's like Henry
Matthew
or something.
Matthew Henry Murdoch or some bull. I don't know.
Real quick.
Like,
but yeah, he's definitely leaning on that for sure.
Like, really? Like, really? You're gonna gaslight your own girlfriend right now? I'm not saying you have to tell her you're Daredevil, but like, bro, that was just rude. You know, like, that's one point in the this is a Daredevil I don't recognize. You know what I mean? But then here comes Cherry. Well, the next scene is Cherry coming in to me like, hey, I need to talk to you about, like, are you sure you want to be Daredevil? You're supposed to stay out of it. Giving him shit, like the old Foggy routine. And Matt's like, bro, I found White Tiger's niece in less than 10 minutes. And the police have been looking for her for, like, several days. What's the problem? We saved a life. And this is another point that I'm weirded out by the show. Don't Foggy all over my leg and tell me that it's Cherry.
Yeah.
You know, he is doing the Foggy thing bar for bar.
Yeah.
What is the point of getting rid of Foggy if you're just going to put in a character we have spent less time with, is less effective at delivering these lines, and then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
At least give Cherry a different perspective, but he's just in the Foggy role. And not to say, like, his, like, I guess, like, his other attorney or as his partner has barely anything to do. Yeah. So I'm just wondering what is the impetus behind. Yeah, like, what is the impetus behind getting rid of Karen and Foggy if you're going to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, like, the math is not computing to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's especially because it's like, Matt, is that you? You know, like, that was it. That in episode 1, Cherry sees him and he's like, oh shit, Matt's Daredevil. And then, like, it barely ever comes up. It's always just like a little like, hey, I know that you're Daredevil. And then now it's finally out in the open, and it's kind of just like he's doing the Foggy routine. It feels unearned, right? And there's no connection to, like, why Cherry would be invested in this and in his specific role as, like, the PI for the firm and that kind of deal. It again is just like a straight up, like, what did Foggy used to say? Okay, put that in the script for Cherry. You know, like, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, at least give him something else to do. Right. And, like, there was a line where he says, like, you used to call me in times like this. I'm like, Jesus. Like, would have been nice to see that, but we don't. And then then the show continues because we get, like, Wilson Fisk looking a little pudgier than usual. Yeah. I will say. He has not been following his diet. He's definitely has a lot more cholesterol. And I'm wondering if this is like a trick of CGI or like the actor Vincent D'Onofrio actually putting on the weight again.
I think it's film schedule magic. I think they filmed backwards. Yeah.
Back really? So
I hope so because he's like slim now doing the press.
Yeah, like
So it's like, dude, I hope you're not like.
Vincent?
Yeah, exactly.
And I wouldn't say anything, but it's a story point. Where as in like his suit is bursting open.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's becoming like his old ways again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what are you trying to do, Disney Plus? But he's kind of like getting freaked out because Daredevil is back on the scene, and he's like, "Oh, I thought we were like, he doesn't know why he's out there. We had a deal and stuff like that." I'm like, I don't know if the deal's still active because
Yeah, like come on, bro, come on.
like you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. You don't become Daredevil, I won't become Kingpin. Is the deal still active? Because Daredevil, he never stopped being Daredevil. Matt, he never stopped. And Kingpin, this is where like the jump from Netflix and Disney Plus is a little bit confusing because what happened in those intervening years to like get, I mean, Echo happened, but like I'm wondering if like, I know we don't talk about the snap anymore. Did that have anything to do with it? Did Wilson Fisk help out during this snap and like, I don't know, use his like wealth to like rebuild his empire? We don't know. Like, but he's still working on his doc project and everything. Here's a question I have for you, Derek. What do you think the doc project is? We know that it's a recycling plant, but what is the ulterior motive that Wilson is trying to do? Because you know there is one. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question because like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would tie into like a comic storyline or something to be like, oh, you know, it's vibranium or something, you know, like like yeah, I don't know, and I think it might just end up not being anything.
Really?
You know?
I'm wondering if like if it does get built, this recycling plant, I'm wondering if this is like a way to hide evidence, if you will.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Like,
and he'll charge people a fee.
Yes. And so like here's my thinking. Like once the plant is up and running, I wonder if like the task force will take like a vigilante there, take him out, and then like get rid of the evidence at the recycling plant, or maybe
toss
like
him in the machine,
toss him in the water too, or something like that. You know, like I wonder if that's like the plan that he has like brewing in the back of his mind, because now that he knows Matthew Murdock is still active, he definitely is going to plan some shit. Meanwhile,
yeah, you could see when he found out that and this is why Vincent D'Onofrio is so good, is you could see it. You could see it in his face that he's like, he's pissed. Even though like the thing about what is it, Fisk? I don't know what the psychological term is, but he's got this like God complex about him type of
narcissist.
I guess it's just narcissism. But he's a hypocrite. He's ultimately a hypocrite. Everything is always somebody else's fault, right? Daredevil unjustly arrested me, and the court system unjustly prosecuted me, and it was all this injustice against me, and I rose above it. Now I'm mayor, and this guy has the nerve to go back on our handshake deal and become a vigilante, even though he's not doing anything to me. How dare he do this? Even though he's been back doing illegal shit already. Right. And even if he directly wasn't doing it, his wife was. And he knows it. Like, don't act like, don't you have this like moral superiority when you don't. So I think that's the thing that really bothers me with him, with that character. And I think it's supposed to. You're supposed to bother you, right?
He is a villain.
That's what tells you he's the villain, exactly. But he's so fucking smug about it that it pisses you off. And he's in a position of power as mayor. And you know that it's not like Green Goblin, where it's like a villain that's going to fight. And it's going to be like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Like, it's like a political villain. Which is, I guess, why he's such a good villain.
Did
But
you
yeah,
hear
episode
what,
7 pissed me off in that little office sequence when he was being all melodramatic about it all.
Right. This is a tangent, but did you hear what Vincent D'Onofrio said about the Spider-Man contract and his contract and everything?
No, what do you say?
People kept asking him, like, oh, is Kingpin going to face Spider-Man and stuff like that. And according to the contract, his contract is that Kingpin has to stay on television.
Oh, I did hear something about that.
And
Not from Vincent.
Spider-Man can never come to Disney Plus.
Oof.
So them's the breaks. They never the two shall meet, which is like very sad because Kingpin and Spider-Man have such iconic moments, but we are never going to see it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is kind of a bummer for sure.
That means we're never going to get a Daredevil Spider-Man crossover. I mean, not actually. I take that back because they already crossed over. They already crossed over in Spider-Man: No Way Home. But back to the show. We see Vanessa meet with one of the other leaders of the gangs, the Russian guy, and the Russian guy is like, "Listen, this is bullshit, right? Like, that we need a kingpin, right? Like, who we taking orders from, the mayor or from the real kingpin?"
That's a great Russian accent that you did there.
Sorry. How do I do a Russian accent? I must break you.
Oh shit, that was good. That was from Rocky 4, but that was good.
Who is real kingpin? You?
Yeah, there you go.
Or Vanessa Fisk? And Vanessa's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, take a shot at him, see what happens.
Yeah.
And with this plot line, my question to you, Derek, do you think Vanessa was setting up this gang leader to get popped? Or was she actually taking a swipe at Fisk?
You know, initially I thought she was. And I
You thought
thought
she was taking a swipe at Fisk?
And that he was just on top of it, and his assistant, which by the way, he got recast.
The Russian guy?
No, the British guy that works for Fisk's #1 man.
Oh, no, he didn't get recast. That's a new character. Wesley died.
Did he?
Yes, what Karen Page killed Wesley.
Oh, whoops.
Remember?
Maybe
It was like a whole thing, and then Karen bragged about it to Kingpin's face.
Oh, shit. I don't remember that at all. Maybe I should rewatch the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, he didn't get recast. So back to the question. I thought she was trying to take him out, and she was just trying to like assume everything. Especially because afterwards it was just like, ask Vanessa if she would like me to bring her, whatever the dish is.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit, that's a flex, bro. Like, you thought I was gonna get murdered, and then I'm having my assistant call you. But then in between episodes, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, you're not gonna just have the mayor killed like that.
Right. Okay.
And then in episode 8, you could tell that, we'll dive into episode 8 in a second. But obviously by episode 8, you realize she was just, I think, eliminating a threat to both of them. That guy would have probably been too much of a heat up to keep around anyway.
I have a theory. Have you ever had a small animal? You know what I mean? Or like back when I first got Freddie. You know what I mean? Freddie's my roommate, which is my beagle, my dog, right? And they don't exactly trust you yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they're like,
and I took it as sometimes I would try to put his collar on, and he would reflexively I don't think Freddie was ever actually trying to bite me, ever. He's never snipped at me or anything, but he still tested it, to see he thinks he's big and bad, oh, I'm the pack leader, just when I first got him.
My Chihuahua still does it to all the other dogs that are bigger than her in the house. And she's like, bitch, what are you going to do, bro? They're going to eat you.
Yes, exactly. I took it as that. You're not actually trying to, kill Kingpin, but, I want to see if he still got it. I want to see what he does. You know what I mean? Just, a little, love tap. You know, like a that's what I took it as.
You know, in the context of episode 8, that makes a lot more sense. Because fucking episode 8 got weird. That scene in front of Andy. What was his name? Andy?
Who are you talking about? The
Vanessa's lover.
Oh gosh, that felt like a real tap, not
Right.
like a real threat, as opposed to
Right.
just like a paw, you know.
Yeah.
But I think she never thought that this Russian guy was going to get far. I don't think any of her plans included Wilson actually getting taken out.
Right.
It's just like, all right, if you're still in the game, if you're actually in the game, you should have your guard up, right? 2 for flinching kind of scenario. And so this guy was dead. What did you think was going to happen? Why did he go but like himself? You don't send a lackey to do that. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dude. Like, don't go yourself, you know?
Yeah, and again, seeing how toxic of a relationship him and Wilson and Vanessa have,
right?
I can definitely see it as like, even if she wasn't trying to test him, even if she was trying to take his ass out, I could still see him being like, "Oh, my darling Vanessa," like he wouldn't care.
It's their love language. Violence is their love language. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or acts of service. That's what it was.
Acts of murder.
Speaking of service, we see Heather meet her patient Muse unmasked, and they have their little weekly session, and everything's going right. You know, everything's going okay until Muse starts giving like the, I don't know, like the what's it called? The like lonely white male manifesto in the office. Like, are you like
disregarded white male?
Yes,
white
he was
male
like, he was about to say
manifesto.
like, don't come to school tomorrow. Like that's
Yeah, it got weird.
It got weird. But here's the thing: if we're talking about like not the reveal of Muse, because if you were like paying half attention, you know that this kid was Muse, right? You know that this is gonna come up later. I guess the problem for me, not the problem, but the thing that I'm chafing up against is this is intercut with Wilson getting like the lowdown from the police, like detective and everything. And they're like, yes, Hughes was a master at Taekwondo and he like did this and stuff like that. Like he fits the profile and things like that. I need you to check me if I'm bugging. Tell me if I'm being an asshole. Just be honest with me, Derek. Are you ready? Back in my day, for someone to be at the level of a Soup in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you had to have some kind of like traumatic training event to get you to the level where you could be a superhero, right? And even if you didn't, at the very least, you were trained by S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Something.
In my opinion, some Taekwondo lessons does not put you at the level, at the bare minimum of trained by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. I mean, it was the top Taekwondo teacher in the world. Like,
right.
You know, the Jay-Z of Taekwondo.
In
Taught him
comparison
how to do it.
to Matthew Murdock, who was trained by an ancient ninja organization, The Hand.
Yeah.
You're telling me that is equivalent to a couple of Taekwondo lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though the bar has been a little bit lowered.
Yeah.
And I don't like, it made me think of like, I love Kate Bishop. I love her. I love her so much. I love Haley Steinfeld. She's an Olympian. She was in like the Olympics. So like she's good at something, but at the same time, but like she can go toe to toe with a Black Widow. Actually, barely toe to toe with a Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like she still got whooped and she didn't die because Yelena didn't want to kill her.
Yes.
But still, it shouldn't have even been like up for 2 seconds longer of a scene. It should have just been a quick, like, I knocked you out. That's it.
Pow, 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 you know?
Yeah, you're knocked out, and I didn't kill you because I don't want to kill you, but I'm
Kate
a
Bishop
freaking
is an
Black Widow.
Olympian, though. So, like, I give her that. Like, awesome. You know? That's pretty cool. That's higher than Taekwondo lessons.
Here's the thing, though, is look at Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was trained by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, right. But look at Hawkeye in the MCU. We don't know any of his backstory. We just know that, like, oh, he's Hawkeye.
Yeah, we do. He was trained by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hold on, and we got the context of, yeah, he works for S.H.I.E.L.D., he's been an agent for such and such time. The next movie comes out, and he's in it too, and it's like, oh, him and Natasha, they have this history, and oh, he's actually the one that recruited her. So, like, it slowly builds his backstory, and you start to understand by the time you get to, like, Age of Ultron, and he's getting shot, and you realize he has a family, and you're like, oh, shit, Hawkeye is an important part of the team in ways that you didn't really expect because it wasn't just fed to you in, like, a quick little, like, dual cut scene. That's what, with Muse, it's the complete opposite. It's like, shit, we forgot to set up his backstory.
Wow,
Quick.
he's such a good fighter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Derek, how old are you? Actually, don't say that on the pod. You know, I said to myself, as when I heard that line about him taking some Taekwondo classes, I was like, oh no, Muse is a Taibo ho.
Oh.
No.
Yes.
Somebody play Ether.
Yeah. Fuck Daredevil.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah, Taekwondo and Taibo. Yeah. I can see him doing it. I mean, he's too young, though, so maybe that's his backstory.
Get the joke. He wouldn't get the joke.
Well, no. Maybe that's his backstory. His parents had the Taibo VHSs.
Taibo no.
And he found it in the garage, and he's like, what is this? And that's how he trained. He learned Taibo through old VHSs that he found in his garage.
Oh gosh, you know what? Keep it up. You know what, Muse? Actually, you can't keep it up. You were kept down.
You died.
Dang. Anyways, I just feel as though, like I said before, I feel like the skill level needs to be like upped, you know. But
yeah.
While all that's happening, Daredevil goes back to Muse's lair, and the task force is also like looking for clues and stuff like that. Daredevil then takes a paper off the wall, brushes it with his hands, realizes that the pictures are of Heather.
Yeah.
His, like, Muse's therapist and Daredevil's girlfriend, and realizes, oh shit, she's the next target. I gotta be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I wasn't jiving with the hand over the picture.
Yep.
I know he's blind, and I know that he has, like, super senses, super touch, super taste, super hearing and all that stuff. It was a bit of a stretch. I know it's comics accurate. I know that, like, he can, like, touch the color frequencies and all that bullshit. But
come on. Come on. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Come on. What'd you
think
of that?
It's one of those things where, again, why the Netflix show was so well done, because it didn't dive into, like, specific details like that. It just told you, like, this guy's a badass fighter. Don't think about this kind of stuff. Don't think about how Hawkeye got so good at being at a bow and arrow. He just is. Same thing with Daredevil. Like, don't worry about how he figures out certain little details. But for some reason with this show, with Born Again, I find myself thinking about stuff like that. How does he know? How did he know the Punisher, the corrupt cops had Punisher tattoos? Exactly. How does he know? Hold on. How does he know that the Punisher has a logo?
Oh, he felt it on the bullet.
No, before that though.
I'm sure someone told him.
Sure.
I'm sure someone told him. I think it bothers me so much because I think there is a simple fix to it. He takes the picture and he smells it. And maybe Muse had taken, like, some of Heather's blood or something.
Right.
And then he smells Heather's blood or like, I don't know, weirdly like sweat or bodily fluids, and then he's like, Heather, Muse, fuck. And that's to me more believable, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't
or
wanna...
he's just like spying, and the cop is like, "Oh, Heather, whatever," and he's like, "Oh shit," you know.
No, and then he like runs in, especially because the cops are there, and as soon as they walk in, like, "Hey, aren't you dead?" Gets hit right in the head with the club.
Yeah.
That guy has so much brain damage. I'm a little worried for that specific cop that like got the billy club to the face. I was like, oh gosh, he needs medical attention.
Yeah.
You know,
They really do. Unless he's one of the like task force really corrupt ones, then maybe not.
Anyways, Muse is back getting his therapy session that he's not paying for, and instead of like, you know, taking in the lessons of Heather and her teachings, he's taking in her blood and just sucking her dry. Oh, no, I can't say that.
This is a family podcast.
Oh, it's a family pod. I'm sorry. Anyways, as Muse is like, you know, very much taking her blood and things like that, I am shocked that he didn't kill her that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just like his other victims, just take her blood and just paint the walls with it. You know, I'm very confused why he let her live so long. But what did you think of the kidnapping scene, Derek?
Like when he cuts her up and all that,
or just like what he's trying to say, his methods, like.
Oh, yeah. I think again, it feels. What's the out there? Like, bro, they know.
How does he?
That you had an appointment. They know you had an appointment.
Oh my gosh! How does he escape? How does he?
Oh, well, he was gonna kill himself, right? I think is what it was.
Maybe. He was gonna kill himself.
I think. Yeah. Sorry. I think he knew he was up. It was over. The jig was up. So he was just gonna go out with like a bang, I guess. And she was his last victim, and he was just gonna kill himself or whatever. I think that was fine. I think. I struggle between like, damn, Daredevil's really getting his ass whooped by a Thai boho like this, and
because,
also just like
Daredevil comes in, swoops in, and starts going after, you know, like for blow.
But also make it realistic. He's been out of the game for a year. This is the second time wearing the suit since he's been back. Like, okay, I get it. Like, you know, they had to ease him back in or whatever. And then I liked that Heather, you know, finished the job. I think that was cool.
Another thing that like I brushed up against, Heather kills Muse.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I've said it before, I've said it again. Heroes shouldn't kill people. Superheroes should not kill people. Heather ain't a fucking superhero. Nope. Her life was in danger.
Yeah.
Like she was gonna die.
Yeah.
I think Heather gets a pass.
Yeah.
The part that I'm chafing up against is that Mr. Matthew Murdock, who like had a whole fight with Punisher about murdering villains, right? Mm-hmm. Had a like literally stopped being Daredevil because he like attempted to kill Bullseye, is totally cool with Heather killing Muse.
Yeah, they don't talk about it. They don't nothing. It doesn't come
nothing.
Up.
Really? That doesn't affect you? That doesn't like... Or maybe he understands, but like, we shouldn't have to kill... Like, what happened? Like, was there a missing scene? Was there something? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I think absolutely there was a lot. There was more to Muse's story, I think. And I think that got cut out in the 20-something episodes or 15 episodes that were removed.
So confused. And then Daredevil has to leave her bleeding on the ground because the task force comes in, like thinking they solved the mystery, or they didn't because Muse is dead. Heather's almost dead. And that's when you get a scene later of Kingpin like, looks like Daredevil wasn't here. Looks like the vigilante task force came in and saved the day. Looks like the task
force is great all along.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
And you know what? Props to Michael, I think his name is Michael Gandolfini, the actor that plays
and he
the kid.
He makes BB spin the story.
I hate that character. So
I
much.
love him.
No,
I
Who
love
does
him as
he
a
think-
villain.
Who does he think he is talking to BB that way, right? But that just is a testament to like how good of a job the actor's doing in the role, where he makes me hate him. I think you're supposed to not like him. You're supposed to know that he's like a morally questionable dude at best, or just a straight up prick at worst. And
He was
so good for him.
like,
Good for him. He's doing a good job.
He didn't even hesitate to use his evil powers.
No.
Like his evil influence. Nope. He's like, gotta do what you gotta do. And like, yep. What a great character. What a wonderful relationship or antagonist for the series. I hope Daniel doesn't die.
Yeah, he's one of those where people were saying like, is this gonna be like Vic in The Penguin? And I was like, I hope so.
You think Wilson? Oh wait, he would though.
He would. He absolutely would if it came down to it, and I hope he does.
Is it bad that I think that Wilson would give Daniel a better shake than Penguin did? With like Vic. Like Vic did everything right and Penguin still killed him.
Yeah.
Daniel will make a actually big mistake and Wilson will be like, you know what, I told you the rules. Pop.
Yeah.
You know? At least if you're working for Wilson Fisk, you're like, you know what, I fucked up.
He gave you a chance. He gave you a second chance.
He gave you a good second chance too. Yeah. So
and he'll be like, you're right.
Like, I mean, hey, if he was an equal opportunity employee oh my God, I cannot talk tonight. He was an equal opportunity employer. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. But anyways, that is the end of that episode 7 of Daredevil Born Again. Derek, what'd you think of that episode? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
It was fine. It's just like, it's still towards up. It's like maybe like that. It's maybe like that just because of like, it felt like it was a good episode, but it still felt like it was victim to the Frankensteining of a much larger season cut down.
Right. So let's get into episode 8 of Daredevil Born Again. It is called Isle of Joy, and we start off this episode with one of the greatest MCU villains of all time, Poindexter. Like, oh man, what a great villain. Netflix had some of the greatest villains of all time because like every time I see Poindexter, I'm like, oh fuck. Like, here's the thing. When it comes to you're screwed in the MCU, there's Thanos and then there's Poindexter. If you see Poindexter, you're like, I'm not making it out. I'm gone. Yeah. I'm dead.
There's a 90% chance you're going to die.
99% chance you're dead.
I was surprised.
You can't even fight back. You're dead.
Yeah. I was surprised that opening scene didn't end in like violence or like an escape attempt or something. I was surprised that it was just like a plot point. Oh, they're moving him to Gen Pop. Like I thought it was going to be that was the escape scene. Right. Just because that's how used to seeing Dex be in that sort of a situation where he's just being ruthlessly violent.
You know what's crazy though? When they said Poindexter was getting moved to Gen Pop, I wasn't like, oh no, Poindexter is gonna get like attacked. I'm like, oh shit, Gen Pop is gonna get annihilated. Yeah. There is no scenario where
he'll be fine.
Poindexter is in any danger. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my gosh.
It was just like, I guess this is this episode where he escapes. Like, that's what I thought. And there you go.
Like, all of Gen Pop is dead now, thanks to Poindexter. Like, he could kill everyone in that room with a Jello cup. There is no fucking way that these normie criminals. Like, actually, why is Poindexter not on the raft?
That's a good point. Maybe because...
Is he not big enough?
Yeah, I think that might be it. He's just like a serial killer. So like they don't view him as like an enhanced. He's not a terrorist, so to speak, or he's not publicly visible enough as a supervillain.
But hear me out. There are non-enhanced individuals on the raft. Scott Lang was on the raft.
Yeah, but he was publicly visible. It was like, yo, y'all made a mess over in Europe in that airport.
Hawkeye was on the raft.
Yeah.
Red Hulk is on the raft. The leader's on the raft. I'm talking like, what? Okay, here's a good question. Clip this into a TikTok or something. What does it take for a Marvel villain to get on the raft, and not just normal jail? Because to me, Bullseye Poindexter needs to be on the raft. Like, if, like, it is code red. Everyone's gonna die if he escapes. Why is that not like a national security threat?
Yeah, like somebody's not paying attention enough to some of these people to put them in just regular prison.
You know what? I think Trish is on the raft from Jessica Jones. I think she got sent to the raft. I'm pretty sure.
The friend that like
Yeah, Hellcat.
yeah.
She got sent to the raft, but Poindexter gets sent to Gen Pop? There is no fucking way. There's no way. If you okay. Poindexter needs to be on there. I think. Why is Ghost not on the raft? I guess we'll find out in Thunderbolts.
Oh, that's true.
Ghost. It's hard because the MCU does kill a lot of their villains too, which is like, damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the case could be made that he's there, but I guess the real answer is we needed him in this show. So they just, maybe now at the end of this season or next season at some point, like maybe eventually he ends up there once they feel like they're done with him, or once they want to move him over to the Thunderbolts team or something,
I wonder if Poindexter is in the same scenario that Kingpin is, because he's like a TV show only.
Could
villain.
be. Did he originate from
Netflix?
From Daredevil?
I think so. So maybe that's why. But like, Zemo is on the raft.
Is he?
Yes.
He's not with Wakanda?
Oh wait, you're right. Wakanda's took him back, or maybe they just delivered him back to jail. But he wasn't on the raft. You're right. Oh my gosh, they broke him out of like normal prison. He should be on the raft. Vulture is in the Sony verse. I mean, that's worse than the raft in my opinion.
What I want to know is, where is Madam Web? Because at the end of the day, her web encompasses all.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's the real question that these shows and movies aren't asking. Like, that's great. Sentry is around. Where is Madam Web?
No. Madam Web is...
We know her mom was in the rainforest studying spiders.
Before she died?
Before she died. But where is she now?
Good question. Maybe... We're not going to see Madam Web again. Rest in peace, Madam Web.
You know what? I think it might have something to do. I think it might have something to do with Spider-Man.
Probably. Anyways.
You're supposed to say intriguing.
Am I? Anyways, we see Vanessa and Fisk talk about the recycling plans, and you think it's going to be a cute date near the water, but they go to Kingpin's private dungeon, the non-sexy version, where he's keeping the Vanessa's fling, her boyfriend, in a cage, and Vanessa is forced to kill the fling to cement her marriage to Kingpin. Derek, did you think that this was romantic at all? Because I thought it was a little bit romantic.
It's romantic in their dark, twisted way. Because I think at this point, she's realizing, like, bro, this guy had him down here all this time. Even if I do let him out, even if I do say, Wilson, he's got to get out of here. That's a major loose end at that point.
Right. There's no way where you keep him alive.
Yeah. And then even if you look at it, or if you look at it by the weirdo angle, which is like, she liked it. She thought it was like a beautiful romantic gesture that he did that. Which I don't think that was the case. But in either the pragmatic or the delusional sense, it worked for her, obviously, and she was on board. And they could have saved all that time in therapy if he would have just brought her down earlier and taken care of him.
Like, now it's out in the open. Do you think not murdering your lover's fling, is that romantic? Like, I didn't murder. I didn't. You're going to do it, but not me. Like, Come on, come on. I guess I'm just surprised that he he didn't die after they got into that fight earlier in the season.
Like
he
that was a
lived?
whole other.
He had
Yeah.
all of his bones healed? Like, Jesus Christ.
He got slammed into the ceiling. He got slammed upwards. How does that work?
Yes, like, his skull needs to be crushed at that point. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. Like, all right, like, whatever floats your boat, but I ship it. I hope these crazy kids make it.
Yeah, I think it was well done, and I think it was a nice little conclusion to, like, their therapy era, you know, and now they're back to normal, so to speak.
Speaking of therapy era, we see Heather kind of giving Matt a hard time because Heather gets invited to the black and white ball that Kingpin is throwing because Kingpin really values his therapist. But it says +1, not Matthew Murdock. The question that I have coming out of this whole episode, and specifically this scene, does Kingpin know that Matthew Murdock is dating his therapist? At the end of the episode, I think he doesn't know.
He does.
I think he genuinely doesn't know. When he like sends that invitation, I think it is a genuine mistake.
No. I think this whole episode. So Matt tells the guy that I thought was recast, but it's just a new character. He's like, how did you know that she's here, that she's staying here?
Oh, that it could have went to. Oh my gosh, I think you're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
because it could have went to her like her
actual place. Yeah,
her actual place that we know exists actually because Daredevil walked her there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then at the end, when Fisk is dancing with her, like he mentions like, "Oh, did you not know that Matt, whatever?" So like, I think he knows, and I think everything in this episode was very intentional. So the first thing we see with Matt is basically him and Heather getting in an argument about vigilantism again.
Where she says, "I killed Muse."
I
like,
saved myself.
That's fair, actually.
Like, okay, I guess, you know. So she shit. So first off, she shits on him unknowingly, but she's shitting on him. You know. Then immediately after, he's got Wilson Fisk. He's got Wilson Fisk taunting him, by sending that invite and all that stuff. And then after that, he gets to the office and he finds out about Poindexter. So at that point, he's realizing, like, first of all, this guy is either going to escape or die or whatever. In either scenario, that's not what I want based off of my beliefs. But more important than that, what the fuck is Fisk up to? Now I have to start investigating this again instead of just letting it kind of be at peace. So I think Matt is essentially just crashing out after all of this. And that's what is the final nail in the kind of coffin that is the dark side of Matt coming out, which is when he gets to the prison. And I'm not sure you're going to agree with me on this, but I think he helps Poindexter escape.
He does.
Yeah.
He literally does because he shoves his head into the thing, which causes him to go to the infirmary because of his teeth gets fucked up. And he uses that teeth to kill that guard. Mm-hmm. Brilliant move by the writers.
And it's so well done that you just think he egged them on, he triggered them, and he let that out, right? Because if Matt Murdock does one thing, is that he likes to like have the catharsis of like yelling, right, or just doing something violent. So that's what it seems like. But then Poindexter's like, "Thank you, counselor," and Matt Murdock's like, "Fuck you." and you start to realize like, oh, he's legitimately saying that to him because he forced him into helping him,
right?
Because he's desperate at this point. He wants the information. So then he gets out. And then by the end of it all, he realizes, oh, I still don't know shit. I still don't know. I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he ends up, protecting Fisk, basically. Which was a nice, like, callback to the, good men protect their worst enemies line. But I think it's a cool way to finish off the descent into madness, the descent into darkness that started with Foggy dying, and then White Tiger dying, and then White Tiger's niece almost dying, and then his girlfriend almost dying, and then Leroy not, being caught in the cycle, and then Heather shitting on him for being a vigilante without even knowing, and then Fisk still running free. So like he's just over it at this point. So that's what leads him to this point. And then at the end of the day, though, he still defends his worst enemy. He still rises above it. He's still a good man. But now he's laying on the floor dying. And that's now in the finale, he will be... Are you ready for it? He will be born again.
Get the fuck out. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're going to be born again?
You will be born again is the name of the show. And bro, if they say that, if they say born again, you owe me $50.
They're definitely going to say it.
I don't think so.
I would like to collect my win. Are you currently sharing something?
No.
Hold on. Because I would like to collect my win. Because I said on the first episode of Still Scrolling Special Viewers Unit that Vanessa took out Foggy.
Oh, yeah.
I called it from the jump. Actually, clip this when you clipped it in the TikTok. Roll the motherfucking tape. Roll it. I said it. I said it. I knew it. And no one believed me. You guys all doubted me. And I told you so.
I agreed with you. What are you talking about?
I just needed to collect my check. Thank you very much. Because I knew it. Anyways, speaking of collecting checks, Matthew Murdock is spinning out because he doesn't want to collect someone's, I guess, he doesn't want to help someone who he knows is guilty. And I'm like, that's not how lawyers work.
Yeah.
Oh, but you can, I'm sorry. I almost said like, oh, you can like free the fiddle faddle guy, but like not this guy? All right, man. Okay. All right. Okay. I just,
I mean,
make some
yes.
money. Make some money.
Oh, I see. Yeah, for sure. It reminded me very much of that scene from Liar Liar when after he's already like he can only tell the truth, and that one client calls him again and he gets the phone and he's like, "Stop breaking the law, asshole." That was Matt's moment with the client in the conference room where he's telling you like, "Bullshit, you're fucking guilty."
Oh my gosh. It's
start
a
thinking
very
about a plea
Suits
deal.
moment. Like, it's very like, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you're a fucking lawyer. Anyways, speaking of that, Foggy did not drink his final drink. Matthew Murdock goes to the bar where Fergie.
Fergalicious, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and Nelson.
It's 11 o'clock at night, guys. Anyways, he goes to the bar where Foggy was killed, meets up with the owner to have a tribute to Foggy Nelson. He's like, yes, Foggy had this drink. And Matt's like, no, he didn't. He had this drink. And he's like, actually, no, I know what I served Foggy. And then Matt puts two and two together, realizes, wait a minute. He only has that drink when he's celebrating. Why would he celebrate early? Wait. Vanessa wanted to kill Foggy so that the case wouldn't go through.
Fisk.
Vanessa Fisk.
Wilson Fisk is what he probably thought.
No,
He doesn't realize it's Vanessa till the end when he's when they're like chatting and he's hearing them or whatever, and he's like, oh.
Oh, also Cherry's there for some reason. Giving the old Foggy lines.
I like to think that when he told the bartender like he wasn't drinking this, I like to think that her reaction, that her internal reaction, that because she's very nice, so she didn't say it out loud, but she was probably like, bitch, you're blind. How the fuck do you know what he was drinking?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Because then afterwards, she's like, where's his cane? Why isn't he using his cane?
But she's right. She's putting two to two together. Like, come on, Matt. Be a little more subtle. I know you just had a revelation. Yeah. But good catch. And I think this cements Foggy's not dead.
Yeah, I think something's
he went
up.
into witness protection. He's definitely not dead.
Yeah.
So
I think the Vanessa, when she's like about to tell Wilson something, like there's something I need to tell you, I think it was going to be like, hey, I faked Foggy's death. It wasn't that I had him killed. It was, hey, I faked his death. Or something to that nature. But right now, only seeing up till episode 8, we're made to believe, like, yeah, she ordered the hit. She was behind it. It wasn't Fisk.
I don't think Bullseye would miss like that, though. I don't think Bullseye would knowingly keep Foggy alive. I think...
Oh, I mean, it's comic books. It could be that he's like, he only hit the specific pressure points. And
you know
whatever.
what? Now that, like... All right, here's my prediction. And we're a little early. But I think that Foggy died that night. Quote unquote died. His heart did stop. He was then saved by maybe a paramedic or like maybe some secret paramedic. Maybe the night nurse came back.
Okay.
And then from that point on, he had to remain in witness protection program, so he couldn't contact Matt. I don't know if Vanessa had the wherewithal or like the why keep Foggy alive? I don't think that's a good. I think she wanted him in the ground, and Foggy survived. You know, that's my best guess. Or maybe Foggy's a Skrull. Who knows?
God, yeah. You're right. It could be like one of a bunch of things, and it would be a little bit. We could debate whether Vanessa's qualified enough to pull off a fake somebody's death, but it would be not as satisfying if it wasn't that she didn't order a hit and she ordered faking his death, because it's kind of like, why would you do that? Yeah.
But anyway, we now get to the black and white ball where Vanessa is wearing red. Fashion profile, but whatever. What a jerk. You wore red to your own black and white party? Like, I get it, but like, damn, all right.
You got it. You're an art broker, whatever. Yeah.
I love balls. I love it in a fantasy setting. I love like this conceit. Everyone's in the same place at the same time. I think it's a wonderful, useful piece of writing. Everyone gets dressed up and everything. Shout out to Matthew Murdock for being the worst boyfriend possible. Because, like, come on, dude. You almost stood up your own girlfriend? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
they took my phone from me, and until just right now, outside right now, like I couldn't call you on the way here.
Sure,
like, come on, bro.
Sure. Yeah. Anyways, Heather looks great. Everyone's outfit looks like Wilson Fisk with the all white. He looks like he's in a what's that? That NSYNC music video. Backstreet Boys all white music video. I'm like, okay, yeah. Wilson. All right, I see it. I think Wilson needs to let go of the white.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely looks better without the all, like when everything is white, maybe pop in a black underneath. Like the black
I think
shirt.
they're saving it. I think they're saving it.
Oh my gosh.
That'll be his suit up, you know, like once he, you know, just goes full corrupt again. We'll see him in the classic purple and black under.
Remind me to do a like best of and worst of Wilson Fisk looks.
Drip.
Like top 10, and we all know what's at the bottom. That Hawaiian red shirt.
Yeah.
We know it's comics accurate. It just didn't look right, you know.
Although he does get points for that outfit does get points for being explosion resistant.
And arrow resistant, like
everything resistant, yeah.
He's
and I know that
be a mutant. He's gotta be.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's a comic explanation for it, but I'm sorry, MCU Fisk. He's not enhanced. There's no way that
he ripped a car door off.
You're not okay. Maybe okay. Yeah, sure.
That's like you have to.
I just wish they would explain it. That's all. Like, give me some.
People, there's two people in the MCU that have ripped a car door away from the car. Captain fucking America and Wilson Fisk.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's at least a super soldier, at the very least.
He's something, but all we got was that he, like, what is it? His backstory is that he killed his abusive dad with a hammer or something, right? Like, there's no explanation as to how he's so durable.
He's got that old man strength.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He's got old man strength.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of old man strength, we see Dex escaping the prison very easily, shooting the tooth from his mouth into that guard's eye, easily escaping. The part that I want to talk about is Bullseye putting on the guard's costume and just walking out the prison. Number one, you're telling me none of those other guards know what their coworkers look like? None of them.
And one of them even talked to him. They're like, "Rough day, huh?"
The problem is,
What?
like I said before, how is anyone on that bus alive? Because Poindexter is one of the deadliest people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, like, why not just kill everyone on the bus and just drive the bus yourself? Maybe he did do that. We don't see. Because as soon as he gets to the party, he takes like that frying like fork and just right in the neck of someone else. I'm like, number one, well, Wesley number two tells Wilson Fisk at the party that Bullseye has escaped. Bullseye is a national security. How many times do I have to say this?
Everybody's like, "Okay."
Sure. No, you shut down the party. You batten down the hatches. You cover all the windows because he can shoot you. Actually, like, put code. It's the mayor. Why is no one free? Did Daredevil season 3 not happen? You hired him, Wilson. Like,
Yeah.
Do we not think he's as deadly as he is? I was so confused why this is not like a big fucking deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's again the focus of getting characters to the right places to move the plot along has been prioritized over certain things like that, where it's like, yeah, maybe the ball wasn't the right thing to do. Maybe he escapes and the ball is like a month later or 2 months later. Not the same day. He escaped and they found out from a phone call. And
the
it was
BB
probably
report was not reporting on it, I guess.
Yeah.
No one
Speaking
knew.
of the BB report, I'm glad they finally cleared up that she's kind of working both sides of the
she
journalism.
was not into Daniel. There was no fucking way. Like, come on. Like, Derek.
Yeah.
You and I both know, as young men as ourselves, we have been in a scenario where, I don't know about you, where you think, oh, wait, maybe she's flirting with me. Maybe she really likes me. And then you realize, wait, she works here. She's not flirting with me. Mm-hmm. You're getting worked. I promise you the stripper is not in love with you. I promise you the barista is not in love with you. They just want the tip. Like,
it's either a barista or a stripper. No in between, right?
No. And for the record, BB is not a stripper. She is not a barista. She's a
very
journalist.
nice young lady that is a
Very
journalist.
nice young lady. But she's putting the moves on Daniel. So Daniel, it's a hard lesson young men have to learn every single day.
Yeah. And he's gonna learn it, and he's gonna become even more Daniel.
Oh, you think he's gonna become an incel? Like,
yeah,
oh my
he's
gosh.
gonna double down on his dickheadedness.
Here's the thing. I want Daniel to find love. Not with BB. But I'm rooting for that kid. You know what? We need to set Daniel up. What? Why? Come on. It would be
Look
fun.
at how he is. Why would you wish that on anyone?
Here's the thing. If there is a Love is Blind in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I hope Daniel's on it. And he would be read to filth on every single TikTok video. Love is Blind New York Marvel Edition. Oh my gosh. Daniel would be so good on Love. He would gaslight. He would gatekeep. Oh my gosh. Perfect candidate. Put him on Love is Blind. We need to see it. I love to see it. I'm rooting for you, Daniel. I'm rooting for you.
All right, Daniel's side though. I think it was back to BB. I'm glad they cleared up that she's ultimately trying to take down Fisk. Right? She's just playing the game the way she needs to play it as best as she can. Something that she probably learned from her uncle because he didn't do that and got himself killed. But also, I think just the newspaper medium versus how she's reporting, and what she's doing is very different too. So that was good. I like that moment with her and the police chief, who has been shown to at this point just be completely not in control of the task force or any of the police. Like the police basically belong to Fisk. So that was, I think, an understated part of the episode. Everybody's so focused on everything else that happened that we're starting to realize, like, okay, the gears of justice are starting to move against Fisk. It's not the traditional court system or the government itself, but the journalist side of it, which is how oftentimes justice does begin to be served, right? Because they break the news, it leads to investigations, yada, yada, yada. I think the police chief might be cooked, though. So that's a whole other... Because they were talking real tough to that man.
Right.
Committing crimes right in front of him and everything, so...
You know what's crazy, though? If I had a nickel for every time I saw someone on screen put their hand in a fryer, I'd have 3 nickels? Because not in the Marvel Cinema, because I saw this before. I saw Novocaine, and there's a scene where he gets a firearm out of the fryer. And before that, like a couple months ago, I saw Monkey Man with Dave Patel.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a whole scene where he like puts those like things in the fryer and stuff like that. So I'm like, what was the memo on putting things, like taking things in and out of fryers? What is in the water? What is in the fryer, actually?
Bro, there's probably like one stunt coordinator that is out there, and he probably is like, he's like, all right, check this out. I'm gonna pitch this idea for the fight scene or for this scene, and like that's his thing, and he's going from project to project, pitching hand in fryer moments.
Probably, like, I'm just, what is happening? Anyways, I'm just, all right. You do you. Speaking of you doing you, we see Swordsman, aka totally not Swordsman, having conversation with Wilson Fisk, being like, "You better not be Swordsman, or else." And here's where another question: who counts as a vigilante in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because he was wearing a mask, I guess, his scarf that he just had on, and a sword. Is it against the law to have a scarf and a sword?
Right.
If you cover your face, does that make you a vigilante? And if that's the case, is Luke Cage a vigilante? Will the task force go get Luke Cage?
Right, because there's no mask, and I guess even Danny Rand.
Last time we even checked with Luke Cage, he's just a club owner. Legally, he's a club owner. Non-legally, he runs the gang, I guess, of Harlem.
He's an entrepreneur. Okay,
sure.
You wouldn't understand the hustle.
Like, what a weird note to leave the character on. Like, Jessica Jones is just a private investigator. Is she a vigilante, or is she just enhanced? Like, what? You know what? We're getting into what's it called? Registering mutants territory.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a gripe that I have, is that we probably won't explore the anti-vigilante. What is it?
Anti-vigilante
sentiment.
task force or sentiment?
The task force, or the sentiment, or government policy, all of that. We probably won't revisit it again.
We barely went into the Sokovia Accords.
Right, exactly. So like this maybe leads into season 2 a little bit. I think they wrap it up. I think, unless season 1 ends on like a huge cliffhanger or something, and it's kind of like, oh, this is why season 2 was already greenlit, because it's just they're kind of treating it as one big story. But either way, I don't think that story is passing season 2. I think the world in general is over that. I think it's weird that New York, of all places, would be for it, and they would elect a guy that's for it. So I think it's just a very blip in the larger story that's being told.
Interesting. We shall see, because now we are at the end of episode 8. We see Vanessa and Wilson Fisk having a beautiful dance together, which is interrupted by Matthew Murdock and Heather also cutting a rug and cutting in on their desk. Oh my god, it's so late. I'm so sorry. Matthew Murdock has a little conversation with Vanessa Fisk, saying, I know what you did. You tried to kill Foggy. And she's like, I know that you're a daredevil. And on the other side, Heather is talking with Wilson, and it's like, do you know what your boyfriend does at night? He likes to wear a mask. And she's like, I don't know, he's not that kinky, but all right.
Yeah, I'm just concerned. I'm a therapist. Did you know that? Yeah.
Yes, she is just a therapist. And next thing you know, Bullseye takes aim at Wilson Fisk, which is very surprising. Not Vanessa.
Yes.
Not Vanessa. But he takes aim at Wilson. And for reasons I don't understand yet, Matthew Murdock jumps in the way and takes a bullet for Wilson Fisk. Mm-hmm. Derek, before I go off, what did you think of this moment?
I think this is the culmination of his spiraling. And it's also his fault. So like it's very poetic in that sense, right? And I think it's a nice callback to the conversation about good men defending their worst enemies and all that. In the moment, though, my initial view of it, because I rewound it. I thought he was trying to save Heather.
That makes sense to me.
That made more sense to me, yeah. But just knowing the way that like writing works and, you know, callbacks to previous lines of dialogue and that kind of deal, I think maybe he is trying to save Fisk. And even then you could maybe argue like, I just want to get down to the bottom of everything. You know, I can't do that if Fisk is dead. Or I can't hold him to justice, whatever. Like it can be in a way where it's not necessarily pure, his reasons for trying to save Fisk. But the reality is, from an optics standpoint, Matt Murdock just saved Wilson Fisk, and that's not gonna like, yeah. Fisk is gonna hate that. He's gonna be like, God damn it, the press is gonna run with that, and that's gonna be the story, and Fisk is probably gonna not like it at all, especially the way that everything ended, where you know, he's probably gonna be like, why the fuck did Matt Murdock cut in the first place, Vanessa? What were you going to tell me before we were interrupted? So I think now it's going to be the opposite, where Matt Murdock now is coming back to the light side after almost dying and all that, and realizing like, okay, I'm no Frank Castle. I'm not cut out to operate this way. And then right. Fisk is going to go the opposite way, where in the finale, he's going to be pushed finally over the edge. Somebody's dying. Maybe it's Vanessa. Maybe it's Gandolfini. Who knows? But he's becoming full villain at the end, I think.
Here's the thing that I cannot square this circle of, see, I can see where they connect the dots of, Matt, you're a person that defends their worst enemy. I can see why they thought that was a good idea, and they think it's a good idea because Bullseye says it, right? The problem that I like, point number one, Matthew, you're blind. I know that you're not like blind, but when it comes to the secret identity,
He's pushing it.
In what world does a normal blind man jump in front of a bullet?
Yeah. People are going to be like, what?
You're blind.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm underestimating the abilities of actual blind people. But to jump in front of a bullet, number one. Number two, Wilson Fisk, the same man who you think is married to the person who killed Foggy, you jumped in front of a bullet for him? For him? You can't say Matt is the type of person that will jump in front like who will protect his worst enemies, when in the previous episode, Heather shoots Muse. Pop, pop, pop. And Daredevil just stands there.
He was just like, all right.
Right? He does not even bring it up as a problem in their relationship that she killed someone. In how do you expect me to square that circle with also saying that Matthew Murdock is a person that will jump in front of the bullet for Wilson Fisk, who has done him dirtier than Muse ever will?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a 20 episode season, that we could get around to understanding that and fleshing that out. But in these 9 episodes, that is the most confusing, the most like, it isn't even like it's more of a like, why put this character in this scenario?
Yeah.
It's bugging me. You know, I'm like,
yeah.
Why? Right? This is when the show might have lost me.
Yeah, I think it's very much, obviously this isn't like an exact comparison, but it's kind of just, again, because comic books, right, you kind of just have to accept certain things. Like, why does Arkham Asylum not have better safeguards, right? Because comic books, you know, sure, Batman doesn't kill, but why does... The least he could do is not put Joker in the same place he's broken out of however many times, right? It's the same here, where it's kind of like, again, not an exact comparison, but it's the same here where we just kind of got to accept that at the end of the day, Matt's a good guy, a good man, and he's going to do these things, even though in a real life scenario, he wouldn't do it.
No.
If he was a real person with these issues, with this trauma, with this grudge against these two people, he wouldn't do it. He'd just let it happen, which is, again, why I'm still kind of inclined to think he was trying to save Heather. But why would...
Like,
yeah.
I just looked up it too. Like, he did not have to do that. Heather wasn't even close in the shot. And we know Bullseye doesn't miss like that.
Right.
He went out of his way to jump it, and maybe it's the trauma response of like protecting Foggy. Maybe that's how I square that circle, of like,
yeah. Okay. I think at the end of the day,
Bullseye to kill another person.
Right. I think it's again the volatility between Matthew Murdock, good person, and ultra violent Daredevil. And it was just that muscle memory of like, no, I am a good person. And it's just, I'm going to save whoever that is because I know where it's heading. I know where the bullet's going because of my senses or whatever. So you could even argue like it's muscle memory. It's not even that he was trying to save Fisk. He was just trying to save whoever that was.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I just... I'm wondering how they're gonna pull that all together. We'll find out next week on the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. I'm still overly positive about this show. I'm just worried how they're gonna land this plane, especially for season 1, when season 2 has already been green. Oh my god! We need to end this pot. Derek, what are your ending thoughts on these 2 set of episodes?
I think they were well done. I think we give every episode a lot of heat, but I think ultimately I've enjoyed the series so far. I've enjoyed every episode so far. It's just a matter of how much. I like that it is less grounded. I think the Netflix series maybe went a little bit too grounded, too realistic, less comic booky. So I like the more comic book type stuff here. Right. And I think episode 8 is a great penultimate episode. It got to a certain point watching where I was like, damn, they're really about to put no action in the second to last episode, but they did it. They did it well. I think my criticism remains the same. It's very clear that this used to be 20-something episodes.
Very clear. All right. That is it for us. We will see you next week on the season finale of Daredevil Born Again. Hopefully, the wonderful, amazing, incredibly talented Stefania will be joining us because she's finally catching up on Daredevil.
Let's see.
We'll see. I'm really rooting for her to finish the show. We'll take bets on whether she comes next week. But we'll see you next week. See you later, Gators.